Hey everybody, it's Major League Hats, and today we are going to do another hat review. But before we get started, I have some news that I want to share with you guys. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's been a couple retirements in baseball, and then somebody that I was just talking about got hurt. So the first story is that the other day I was talking about how Des Bryant decided to sign a contract with the New Orleans Saints for the rest of the season because the Saints really needed help with their wide receiver depth, and so Des Bryant would have fit in perfectly. At the end of practice on Friday, it looks like Des Bryant tore his ACL. It has not been officially confirmed. He's going to have an MRI to confirm the tear of the ACL, but that's more of a formality. So it looks like Des Bryant will be out at least 8 months, which will put him in line to come back, and hopefully he can get things back together in minicamp for whatever team decides to sign him. So unfortunately, that's bad for Des Bryant. Would have liked to see him out there this year. He is one of the better receivers in the National Football League. So Des Bryant, hope you have a speedy recovery, and we look forward to seeing you next year. On the baseball side of the news, I don't know if you guys have seen, but it has been reported on ESPN that the Chicago Cubs are open to trade talks about Kris Bryant. This is kind of a scary possibility. For whatever team decides to get Bryce Harper, they could go out and get Kris Bryant. And guess who needs an outfielder and a third baseman? The San Francisco Giants. That would be freaking awesome. Now, the only thing about this one, I don't think that the Giants could actually pull it off. I just don't think they have the prospects to pull it off. Their farm system is not usually ranked that very high. They're kind of at the bottom of the farm system ranking list right now. So it would take a lot to get the Cubs to decide to part ways with Kris Bryant. But I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibilities. Yes, Kris Bryant is going to be making about 12 to 15 million this year because of arbitrations, and it's only going to go up for the next couple of years. But still, the fact that you could have Kris Bryant and Bryce Harper in your lineup for at least, 3 to 4 years. I think he's going to be a free agent after the 2022 season because of the way he was brought up. They held him back from calling him up so he wouldn't be eligible to hit free agency sooner. So even at $12 million for a guy like Kris Bryant, to me, that's a bargain. Yeah, I know his performance level was a little off last year, but I would take freaking Bryce Harper and Kris Bryant. All they got to do is just pay Bryce Harper. They don't have to give no prospects or make any trades or make any movements. The opening in the outfield is already there. You don't have to create the position for him. Same with Kris Bryant with the Giants. Yes, the Giants did re-sign Pablo Sandoval to contract, but they're paying him league minimum, and he'd be a perfect backup. Or if they could flip him for somebody to a team that might need him, like the Cubs, they can throw him in the deal. I think that would be good for both parties, at least in the Cubs sense. The Cubs do have an adequate third baseman that could fill in. Kris Bryant, though, isn't just a third baseman. He is an outfielder. He has been known to play left field a little bit, so he's not just tied down at third base. I would definitely use him at third base. I feel like it would make a great fit for the Giants. Haven't heard anything if the Giants are actually going to go after Kris Bryant or if that's even a possibility, but when I heard that news, I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I thought it could work perfectly. Tell me what you guys think. I know the dislike tweets are going to come out and say, no, Kris Bryant doesn't need to be on the Giants. No, Bryce Harper's not going the Giants. But you know what? It's not over until they sign their name on the dotted line. Remember that. You can say whatever you want, but until the day they sign the name on the dotted line and there is a press conference going on somewhere, there's still a chance. There has been small rumor that Giants have been tied into the Bryce Harper talks. There's also been Philadelphia. St. Louis says they're not in, but who knows? The Chicago White Sox have been in. They actually secured a meeting with Bryce Harper, so we'll see what happens. So that's news story number 2. And news story number 3 goes together, so I'm going to tie it in. But it was just announced yesterday, Friday, that Joe Mauer of the Minnesota Twins and Chase Utley of the Los Angeles Dodgers have announced their retirement. To me, it's kind of a sad day in baseball on 2 levels. One, as you can see, I'm wearing my Minnesota Twins Joe Mauer jersey in honor of Joe Mauer. He was one of my favorite players to watch. He was one of the best catchers that I've personally seen all time. Yeah, granted, I never saw Johnny bench. I would have loved to seen Johnny bench, but for me, well, I'll take that back. Obviously, I saw Pudge Rodriguez, so Joe Mauer is in the top 5 of best catchers that I've seen, of course. I did see Carlton Fisk. I always liked Terry Steinbach. He was always one of my favorite catchers as well. So Joe Mauer was one of those kind of catchers that you just had to love him. I love the fact that he was from Minnesota. He signed with his hometown team. He played 15 years with them. He was a 2009 AL MVP. He was a 6-time All-Star. The only little downside is that later in his career, he had some concussions issues, and he had to move from behind the plate to first base. And so there was like a time of about 2 to 3 seasons where he wasn't 100%. That kind of hurt his numbers a little bit in regards to power and just, you know, basically getting back in the game. He finished up with a little bit under 2,200 hits. I feel that he is a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he'll make it on the first ballot Hall of Famer, but he will make the Hall of Fame eventually. And to put that into you that he is a Hall of Famer, so I don't want to hear any dislike tweets saying, no, Joe Mauer is not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have the numbers. Listen to this. I found this little statistic on why Joe Mauer's virtually guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer. Joe Mauer is one of 22 former MVPs to play with their hometown team for their whole career. And guess who the other 21 are? Hall of Famers. So if Joe Mauer is not a Hall of Famer, Joe Mauer would be the first one of 22 former MVPs that played the whole time with one team not to make the Hall of Fame. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer. So if you want to give me a dislike on this video, dislike dweeps, go ahead and do it. But please come back in about 10 years and take that dislike off when he's in Cooperstown making his thank you. I want to thank my family. I want to thank all my fans. I want to thank the Minnesota Twins Hall of Fame speech because he will be a Hall of Famer. I guarantee that one. There was another announcement today that the Los Angeles Dodgers, Chase Utley, announced his retirement as well. And this one's kind of I want to say Chase Utley is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be more of the hit or miss. If he does go, it's definitely not going to be first ballot. Chase Utley had a very extensive playing career with the Philadelphia Phillies and then later on play with the Los Angeles Dodgers. But Chase Utley is more revered or more well known for that slide that he had in that game 2 on October 10th of 2015 when he was at first base and the Dodgers were playing the Mets in the NL Divisional Series. The ball was hit to the shortstop. Ruben Tejada came over to cover second base, and Chase Utley, without even tagging the base or anything, just slid right into Ruben Tejada, broke Ruben Tejada's leg, and he was kind of never the same. It was determined that Chase Utley never did touch the base, but since they called him out on the field, after review, they awarded him the base. That is why we have the new, you don't have to really touch second base to get a player out, and you have to be able to touch the base when you're sliding or otherwise you will be called out rule. It is basically the Chase Utley rule. And yes, it is a good rule because I hate to see players get hurt, especially good players. And Ruben Tejada, I mean, he wasn't like a superstar player, but he was well above the rest of the players in Major League Baseball. He's a very good player. I love to watch Ruben Tejada play. He's so smooth there at second base that it's too bad that he got hurt because who knows what would have happened. Now, ultimately, the Dodgers won that game after coming back. But in the end, the Mets did win the series and they moved on to the World Series. But that was the year that they lost to the Kansas City Royals in the World Series. Chase Utley, overall, he has Hall of Fame numbers, but definitely not first ballot Hall of Fame numbers. He was a 6-time All-Star and he won 4 Silver Slugger Awards. I would have to say, how do you make 6 All-Star appearances and not be a Hall of Famer? I mean, at one point in time, there was a 3-year period where his wins above replacement, his WAR was like plus 60, which in baseball terms is freaking a lot. Now, he wasn't the same player towards the end of his career. He was kind of fading off, but like I said, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. I would probably put him in the Hall of Fame. Definitely not going to get in the first 4 or 5 ballots. Maybe in the 6th or 7th year. Now, I can't remember. They changed the rules how long they're able to stay on the ballot. It might be only 6 or 7 years, but I believe that Chase Utley will get into the Hall of Fame eventually. All right, you guys, leave a comment down below on what you guys think about Joe Mauer or Chase Utley retiring. Chris Bryant potentially being traded from the Cubs. Don't think it would happen. I think it would take an astronomical amount. of players and a lot of movement to make it happen, and I just don't see how trading Chris Bryant would make the Cubs a better team. My opinion, but leave a comment down below. And if you want to leave a comment about Des Bryant, sorry Des, would have liked to seen you play. It's football, this is how it is, so sorry, would have liked to seen you play. He wasn't going to play on Sunday anyways in Cincinnati, but the fact that he would have gone through practice the whole next week and he would have been out there the next week after that, it would have been awesome to see. Alright, with all that being said, let's get on to what you guys are all here for, and let's get on to today's hat review. Alright, so today's hat review, we have a very special hat. I'm going to show you the hat, and then I am going to talk about what the hat has meaning towards. And this is why I started this hat channel. So if you guys are new to watching my videos, and this is the first time you've seen this video, please watch the whole video. Consider subscribing to my channel. I'm currently up to 194 subscribers, so thank you everybody for that. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification button so you get notified when I upload that new video. But also, more importantly, please help support my video and leave a like on it. I appreciate it. But the reason why I started this whole YouTube channel in the first place is because I wanted to share information about my hats that I get, because there's a lot of hats out there. I'm more into baseball, as you guys know. I do collect some basketball, some football, and I've recently got into hockey. If you guys have not been leaving your vote on what my second hockey hat should be, please make sure you leave a vote on what my next hockey hat should be. I am going to be releasing the polls on my next video after this one, so it's imperative that you guys keep leaving those votes. And at the first week of December, I will order that second hockey hat, and I will show you what that hockey hat is in an unboxing. So make sure you continue to leave your votes on my second hockey hat. I wanted to get hats out there, show these hats, present them to you, and put them out there because maybe you've never seen them, or maybe you have the same hat and for some reason you weren't able to find out the information. So that's why I started this hat review channel in the first place. And I got a lot of hats, so it's kind of a cool little hobby to do on this side. So without further ado, let me show you this awesome hat, and then we'll talk a little bit about this hat. So the hat that we have is, BAM! The Reading Fighting Phils. Now you're going like, Major League hats, that doesn't say Fighting Phils on it. No, you're right, it doesn't say Fighting Phils. It actually is Reading's Paladores hat, and let me tell you a little bit about this hat. This hat is very special. Last season, the Reading Fighting Phils played a game on August 22nd, 2018, where they were going to celebrate Latino Heritage Night. And during that game, they were going to wear these special hats, and they were having a special ceremony. During that special ceremony, they were going to retire the number 21. What's the number 21, you're asking? Roberto Clemente's number, the former outfielder that played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And these are Puerto Rican colors as well. You got the little white right there. So they decided, in honor of Roberto Clemente, Latino Heritage Night, they were going to retire his jersey for the Reading Fighting Phils, which is the Double-A team of the Philadelphia Phillies. Why the Phillies? I'm not sure. I couldn't really find out any information. If Clemente actually ever played in Reading, for whatever reason, from what I could tell, he actually was originally signed by the Dodgers, but I never saw that he played in the Phillies organization, and I never saw if he played with Reading. If you guys are not aware, Roberto Clemente passed away on December 31st, 1972, in a plane crash, taken off from Puerto Rico going to Nicaragua. He was taking earthquake relief items to Nicaragua, where they had a massive earthquake the previous week, and he was on his way to take supplies. On takeoff, the plane crashed because of engine failure, so unfortunately Roberto Clemente passed away. In that plane crash, he finished his career with 3,000 hits exactly with the Pirates, and obviously they retired his number. So during the ceremony, they were going to retire the number 21 in Reading, so they called their team Los Paladores. Now, I'm going to be honest, when I saw this hat pop for lids, I did not know all that information. So that is a really cool thing about doing this channel, is that I get to look up the information myself, find the information, and share it with you guys. And now helps me to appreciate the hat even more, knowing the backstory. So with that being said, let's take a look at the hat itself. This is actually one of my favorite color schemes, and this is what attracted to me to the hat in the first place. First, you have the P right here for the Fighting Phils. It looks like a P. I could go with an F, because fighting fills, but then it's the fills. So maybe it's like a joint FP, but you have the white embossed stitching right here. You have like a fist coming through the P/F. I think it's supposed to be a P. It really looks like a P to me. But if you were like take this off a little bit, it would look more like an F, but it is what it is. I think it's supposed to be a combination of a P and an F. You got some red outlining on the fist itself. I like the details of the navy blue stitching around the knuckles there to give you it. And you have some navy blue around the P/F. We'll just go with P from now on because, like I said, it looks more like a P, but it could be an F as well. But you have some nice navy blue outlining the P. And the cool part about that blue, it's may not be a navy, but it's definitely a little bit different color blue, because right here on the cap you have another navy blue, navy eyelets, you got a red bill. On the side you have your white New Era flag. On the back you have your red and navy minor league little guy. You have a white button, and then as I showed you a little bit earlier, it says Peladores on the side there. Really nicely done. Yeah, it's a P because that says Peladores. That's a P. So we solved that mystery. So that is a P. On the underneath, it's a black brim, black sweatband, 7 5/8 course, 100% polyester, made in Bangladesh. So if you guys have not seen this hat, I'd recommend going to get it, because what attracted me to this hat originally was this whole nice color scheme. I like this hat. I love the color. It looks really good. Fits really good for a 7 5/8. Doesn't feel too loose or anything. Doesn't feel too tight. It's kind of like where it should be. So I would definitely go be picking up the Reading Fighting Feels Peladores edition hat. They still have them available on lids, so if you want to go check that out, I would definitely do that. All right, you guys, that concludes today's hat review. Thank you for watching. If this is the first time you've seen my videos, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification so you get notified when I upload my new video. My goal is to get 20 likes on all my videos, so make sure you leave that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. I currently have one video with 24 likes on it, and I have about 6, 7 other videos that are 19, 18, 17 likes. So if you guys can help me out and move those videos to the 20 like section goal, I'd appreciate it. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm going to provide my Instagram thing here at the bottom so you can come and do that. And basically, I'm a normal person, so that's what I post on my Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. This Major League Hats out. Bye, everybody. See ya.